Thanks to our friends at The Motley Fool for sponsoring this video. Visit fool.com/Rive to receive the top 10 stocks to buy right now. The first quarter has ended and earnings season is just around the corner. So there are a number of questions that I want to ask about public companies today. And the first one I want to start with is Tesla. This is an automaker that has faced a lot of changes over the last couple of years. They have become one of the biggest automakers in the world, not just the most valuable automaker, but actually makes more vehicles than a lot of other brands. But there is a lot of questions for investors, especially given the valuation of the stock right now. So I want to ask 5 critical questions of Tesla going into the first quarter earnings results. My name is Travis William. Thank you for watching Rive Investing. Please subscribe here on YouTube for all my content. The first question is around Tesla's margins. We know that margins started to come down in the second half of 2022. That was partially impacted by some price reductions that hit in December 2022, but then there was even bigger price cuts in January and even another round of price cuts later in the year. So it's likely that we're going to see some margin pressure from Tesla. So can Tesla hit that 25% gross margin number that Elon Musk himself put out as a target that Tesla can hit? We know that Tesla has better gross margins than all of its competitors. And there are some structural reasons for that. It doesn't have dealers. It doesn't do any advertising. So there are some fundamental advantages that Tesla should have in the market. But 25% is a very high gross margin for a company like this. Is it something that the company can reach given the fact that it's cutting prices for its vehicles? That's something that I have a lot of questions about. That's going to be really the first number that investors are going to want to look at when that first quarter earnings release comes out. The next question is around demand. Tesla has said that it's going to grow production by 50% per year. That's just an astounding growth rate in the auto business. And if you're going to grow production by 50% a year, you have to grow demand by 50% per year. And there's been some indications that demand is not keeping up with the increase in supply. Inventory has increased by about 75,000 units over the last 3 quarters. And that's despite the fact that Tesla is reducing prices. So are we starting to see demand fall short of that supply? That's a question that's obviously going to be on investors' minds when earnings are released. And hopefully we get some indications of what demand looks like and what the backlog looks like for both existing products and then new products that are coming out. There are also going to be questions around full self-driving, both from a regulatory perspective and then what's the attach rate? So what percentage of buyers are paying the $15,000 that it costs to buy full self-driving beta? That's a very high margin product for Tesla. But as it's moving down market and getting cheaper and cheaper vehicles, it's less and less likely that customers are going to be adding that kind of a software to their Model 3 or Model Y purchase. So listen to what they have to say about FSD attach rates, and that's going to directly impact margins too. I think that's something we can't overlook is that's a very high margin business, something that if you're a Tesla bull, you really want to see a lot of people buying FSD. And if they aren't buying it at the same rate that they were in the past, then we're going to see a big impact on the income statement. The fourth question is around the Cybertruck. When is it going to come out and how many people are going to buy it? This has been a really big question for Tesla. The product has obviously been delayed and we're expecting to see some production come off the line in 2023. But I think the bigger question is going to be around demand. This is a very unique vehicle. There's really nothing like it in the market right now. I don't think it really competes with something like an F-150 or a Silverado in the same way that a lot of Tesla's previous vehicles really didn't take a lot of big swings as far as their design went. But the Cybertruck has done that. Now, there were indications that there was a lot of demand based on deposits, but that deposit was only $100. So it doesn't take a lot to put down a deposit, put your name on the list, and then ask for that $100 back in a year or two if you decide you don't actually want to go through with buying the vehicle. It's a much bigger deal if a company is asking for $1,000 or more dollars. That gives you a much better indication of what demand actually looks like. So I don't think we have a good idea how much demand there actually is for the Cybertruck. And that's something I would like to get answers for sooner than later, but we will see what management has to say. Obviously, by the end of the year, they're going to have to start making these vehicles. And then really the rubber is going to hit the road on whether there's a lot of adoption for this vehicle. But I think there's more questions about the Cybertruck, especially given the scale of Tesla today, than there has been for any vehicle launch in the past. And then the final thing to look at with Tesla is when is a new model coming? The basic design for Tesla's vehicles is about 11 years old at this point. That's when the Model S was introduced. The Model 3's design is 6 years old, so there hasn't been a real refresh in quite a while for Tesla. That's going to start weighing on demand eventually. Not everybody wants to have the same vehicle, especially when you're paying tens of thousands of dollars for a new vehicle. And there's a lot of new options on the market in the EV space. If Tesla is going to keep growing production by 50%, they're going to have to add more vehicles, not only to lower that price point and be accessible to more people, but also just to attract people with new and stylish looking vehicles. So when is that new vehicle coming? We haven't gotten a solid answer for that, but hopefully we get some more information. To me, that's a big question that Tesla is facing going forward and might help answer if they're going to be able to grow that production number by 50% per year. But what questions do you have for Tesla going into earnings season? I'd love to hear your comments in the comments section below. Don't forget to subscribe to Rive Investing. Thanks for watching, everybody. I'll see you here next time.